Greetings, fellow pals and gals of the YouTube world. It's your boy, the Wolf Gamer 25, and we're back once again for another riveting section of Figure Friday. And I would very much like to say welcome to the stream for those of you who will be joining me tonight. And I do hope that you're all having a wonderful evening, or if it's during the daytime, I hope that you are having a wonderful day. And I would like to very much, first of all, say I do hope that you guys who had work of the sort or had like kind of trials, tribulations today, any kind of just negativeness in your day today, I hope that you dealt with it, because I know that you, I know who I know, you know I'm talking to you. You are strong, you are amazing, you are beautiful, and don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. But besides all the mushy stuff, I do hope that you guys are going to enjoy tonight's stream, because it is a real throwback. And before we get into it, though, I do invite you, please kick your feet up, relax, take your shoes off, please take a breath of relief, just relax all. And I do hope that you have eaten or have something to snack on of any sort of variation whatsoever. If not, please do your boy a favor, go get something to drink, go get something to snack, go get something to eat, because it's no rush, it's just me, you, and a figure of you. Now, I do hope that you were given plenty of time. I do hope that you're relaxing. And as you could probably tell by this wonderful background music, that's probably a dead giveaway of tonight's theme, which of course is a true, as I said in the beginning, throwback of one of my childhood favorites cartoons growing up, which of course I know you guys probably know what I'm talking about, is going to be the Xmen animated series. Now, I do also would like to give a big shout out to Disney Plus for putting such a gem back on the marketplace, because it really takes me back. Really helps me to remember the good old days. And of course, me being the Wolverine, he was always my favorite. I love the fact that he was always acting so brooding, but in a way I got sort of a Batman vibe from him. But one major difference is that I'm pretty sure that he could beat Batman one-on-one. I do hope that I triggered a few DC boys out there, because it's a sad fact. Sorry guys, facts don't lie, but hey, come on. But getting past all that, today we will be introducing 5 figures altogether. 3 of them, actually 2 of them rather, founding members of the X-Men group. One of them a long-standing member, and actually scratch that, right back. 2 of them were founding members of the X-Men. One of them was actually 2 of them also long-standing members, and the last one, I'm not going to say he's a long-standing member of the X-Men, but he is a crucial and integral part of the team, because he knows how to contribute. He's done well. He's helped them in the past. He's helped them in the future also, and we're going to be introducing them all today. So please do me a favor, relax. Now then, I figure we'll go ahead and get the first one out of the way. This particular young lady, a teenager, yes, but she's one of the first founding members of the X-Men, but she is a long-standing member. She has sort of a twist on her lifetime, but I'll go into detail about that now. This particular mutant, she has the ability to create pyrokinetic or pyrotechnics, sort of, if you will. Yes, of course, the same scene in fireworks. Now, that's not all she can do. She can't just create a beautiful light show. She can blind you, she can hurt you, and if you're not careful, she can suck your blood. Now, I'll get into detail about that right now. But first, I would very much like to give a very warm welcome to the youngest, one of the many youngest members of the X-Men, Miss Jubilation Jubilee. Now, as I said, the reason I told you guys that she is able to suck your blood, mainly because mutant abilities, and she actually became a vampire. which of course I didn't even see that coming, mainly because due to the fact that I thought that the only ever vampires in the Marvel universe consisted only of Blade and Michael Morbius, which of course, hey, um, we'll get into that later. That's safe for another time. Whenever I can actually track those two down and maybe introduce them to. But now we're here for Miss Jubilee. As I said, she was born into many foster homes because her mutant abilities didn't really manifest from birth. They manifested a little bit later on down the life road, if you will. She was turned into a vampire, which of course she was adopted by um, someone named Sho. Forgive me if I butcher this name, Shogo, something like that. Either way, um, she actually she tries to restrain herself when it comes down to her vampiric abilities. Although the thing about her is that she didn't want the lifetime of becoming a vampire because she knew that it would destroy her. But in the end, she dealt with it for at least, I don't know, a few years. I can't really give you an exact number because I know she dealt with it for a few years. But I know that whenever she had joined up with the um, working alongside them, alongside Professor X, she was actually able to beat her vampiric side and regain her abilities, which of course turned her back to normal and of course into the teenager we all love and know today. Whew. Now, why don't we just go ahead and give you guys one last look at her. Now, I do apologize, guys. She did have other accessories. She did have some shades, but unfortunately, I lost those. Now, as you're wondering probably what that is in her mouth, it's bubblegum because teenager, yet again. But moving on. The next one I thought that we could introduce is a crowd favorite, mainly because of his accent, which of course, hey. But to me, I think that not only I think he has a good heart. I think his heart is in the right place, but in a way, he acts sort of he acts like he doesn't care, but he does care. But this, of course, I'm not gonna say he's a real country boy, if you will, but he was. Yeah, he's got that sort of accent to make you think like he's from sort of southern or just another part of the world, which of course hurt. But he's a charmer for the ladies, but he's also a master thief. Mainly because he's good at either trickery. He also can play such roles as assassin, something like that. But he's also a very, very good poker player, if you will. And I'm not saying that because of his face, and I'm saying because he actually uses such things to. Sorry, he actually uses such things as normal playing cards in order to benefit him, if you will. Now, you guys know him as Remy LeBeau, if you will, but other people like to call him by another name, and that's of course Gambit. Whoa! You don't gotta throw stuff at me. Oh, he didn't charge that one up. That's cool. So, I'm going to drop the staff on you. Now, as I said once before, he is a charmer, he is a master thief, but he did join up with the Xmen, and in doing so, he was able to showcase some of his abilities. Dang, focus. Come on, camera. Baby. I know you guys are probably wondering what that is in his hand. If the camera focuses for me, I'll be happy to tell you. Now, as I said, his abilities, they in a way they're sort of like Jubilee's, except more powerful, if you will, because he's able to build up what's called the kinetic energy, and in doing so, that actually has come from years of mainly the guild that he was in. He was trained by, known as the Thieves Guild, and that's of course or just some part deeper, but he. In a way, he acts different. He acts like he doesn't care, but in a way, he does care because he's become an integral part of the X-Men. He's helped them many times. He's helped them many times in the future also. But he has contributed more towards the lady on my shirt, if you can't tell. He has he's felt. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, 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 no. No, no. See, because the reason that I wanted to be able to keep the music going mainly is because I like to help keep with the theme. But anyways, back to what I was saying about Mr. LeBeau here. Let me just borrow that. Let me just borrow that. I'll give it right back. Let me show you guys some of his little trinkets. As you can see, as I said before, this is one of his playing cards, if you will. I believe they called it the Ace of Spades. But as you can see by the little R right here, it's charged. It's ready to throw. Now, he does possess other abilities, not just being able to charge up kinetic energy or use it against other people. No. He's agile, he's strong, of course. He can't lift the bus strong, but either way, he knows how to hold his own when it comes down to it. And that, once again, comes from years of training in Thieves Guild that he was in. But luckily, he had saw the corruption, he saw what was happening, he didn't want it anymore, so he decided to get out. But also, he comes with this right here. Yes, it's true. Looks like a normal staff, if you will. But this one, however, is not like any other staff. It can basically, it's known as more of a pacification tool, if you will. He tries not to use much to where it'll hurt somebody, but it's also good for deflecting either bullets, arrows at times, heck, even blasters. But of course, that's getting into something else, which I don't really want to know. But moving on, I'll give you guys one last look at him, and hopefully the camera will let you see. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. As you can see, he's holding up the peace sign. He wants to say thank you guys for coming. And one major trait about Gambit that I've noticed that helps him stand out from all the other X-Men is his eyes. Mainly because they're not your normal shade of red. They're known as blood red. And of course, whenever, say, if you see those glowing, like hella glowing, then you're going to want to go the other way, because that's basically saying that he's going to either blow you to pieces, because that's when he's peaking at his power. That's when he peaks at his power, and that's when it's most dangerous, in which, of course, he tries not to lose control. But unfortunately, it does get the best of him, especially if those closest to him are being threatened, which, of course, whenever Miss Rogue is getting threatened as well. Now, and of course, I'm saying I don't blame him, because Rogue is one of my favorite Marvel girls. But that's for another time. Whenever I can procure Miss Rogue and help her become part of the team, then I'll be happy to show you guys. I'll be happy to showcase her to everybody. Anyways, now we're moving on. Now these three particular individuals, these are the new figures. These mainly because I wasn't too sure if I should get them, or if whether or not I knew very much about them. But I did, actually, and I'm actually very happy that I did, because these three, they're main founding members of the X-Men team. Well, two of them are. One joined a little bit further down the road, and he became a key teammate in the X-Men series, and the X-Men movies, the comics, and all that good stuff. But don't worry, I'm going to introduce them all one by one, and I'm sure that you are going to be able to recognize them. And if not, I'm still going to give some history. I'll still give you guys some lessons about who they are. Anyways. But why don't we just go ahead and introduce them all together, Because I figured that way I can let you guys know who I'm talking about, and that way you guys can see them. The three most known also members of the X-Men, and I'm not going to say like most powerful, but one of them in particular is, but that's only when she found her hidden abilities, and I'll let you guys know who it is. I'm pretty sure you guys can guess it, though. But now, I'll show you guys the three main members of the X-Men crew: Jean Grey, Wolverine, and Cyclops. That's right, folks. The three-pack of. Now, these three are. Two of them actually are my favorites. That, of course, includes Wolverine and Cyclops. I say that mainly because they've always seemed to get into it, especially when it comes to Jean. Unfortunately, Jean chose Scott, which I'm sure that broke Wolverine's heart. But hey, who wouldn't? He felt like he had been rejected. He felt like her and all that stuff. But in the end, he was the one who actually ended her. But he had to. She was getting out of control. But I'm getting too far into it. I need to slow down so I can let you guys know. So, anyways, why don't we slice these suckers open and see what's what? Let me just check on this, make sure it ain't going to get very far there, yeah? Sorry. That's also one thing about Gambit. Let me just run this right back. Another thing that's most memorable about Gambit is his accent. He speak like this here, yeah? He wants to make sure that he's known out there because he's got this here accent and you know how to use it to sweet talk the ladies. You see what I mean, Petit? Yeah, yeah? But, anyways, I don't want to get into it. I don't want to go too far into character because, So why don't we just came here, stop rambling, and get on to the good stuff, huh? Okay, easy. Woo! Okie dokie. Easy, folks. Easy now. And I just want to apologize ahead of time, guys. It's about to get very squeaky, about to get very loud. So please, forgive me. We'll go ahead and introduce them one by one as soon as I can get them out of the plastic. Sorry, again. Apologize about the noises. Oops. Come here. Give me that. Look over there for me. Thank you. Okay. Now, the first of them, I'm going to go ahead and introduce one of the many founding members of the Xmen team. He was one of Professor X's very first students, mainly because his mutant ability was the most memorable, next to Wolverine's, of course, mainly because he had because he was just a normal kid living his life, normal dude. He had a lot of folks, a lot of friends. He was going to school. He's headed off to college. Unfortunately, his mutant ability decided to say no. But, he was one of the first X-Men and the current leader of the X-Men, I believe, in most universes. He's well known, and his mutant abilities. His mutant abilities. I'm getting tongue-tied with that word. Forgive me. They include optic blasts, which of course come from a special visor, which was fashioned for him by Professor X, which of course was needed mainly because he had to keep his eyes closed. As if he was to open his eyes, keep them open for so long, then he would basically tear up a building, tear up a city. But as for lethal, the visor acts as a sort of border, if you will, with a switch on the side, which helps him to control the energy output, in which, of course, either stun or even sort of act as a pulse beam, if you will, too. Of course, if he wants to push others away. But why don't we just go ahead and get to it? Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Summers, a.k.a. Cyclops. Now, as I said, the visor is actually fashioned from what's known as a ruby quartz, actually. It's ruby quartz visor. And as you can see, he's rocking that classic jacket of his, which I'm very happy because I know that was one of his most well-known clothing items because it helps him stand out from the rest of the X-Men. Other, of course, than his visor, which, of course, is a dead giveaway, because he can shoot from, I believe, depending on how much energy he puts, I believe he can shoot up to about 200-300 feet at the most. I haven't really been able to delve into that as much, but I'm still going to try my best. But why don't we just go ahead and move on to the next one? Now, again, I apologize, guys. Sorry about the noise. Sorry. But before I move on to the next one, I would very much also like to show he does have... Whoa! Caught you. He does have two interchangeable heads. He also has an interchangeable hand, which I think is very cool, especially this one, mainly because not only is it showing, of course, which I'm sure you guys probably hope you can see, it's actually showing just two fingers, which of course is acting like this. Now, in a way, that's a good thing because I love the detail on him. I love the fact that they gave him his retro X-Men look, and the fact that these two fingers, of course, they're going to be right there adjusting the visor. But anyways, Moving on. The next mutant I'm going to go ahead and introduce right after I restart this. Give me one moment, folks. One moment, folks. I do apologize about the delay, guys. I just want to be able to help you. Feel what I'm feeling, Okay, back to it then. Now, as I said, once the next mutant I'm going to go ahead and introduce, she is an Omega level mutant. Now, the only reason I say that is because she's one of the more extremely powerful, at the same time dangerous mutants. Because if it wasn't for the fact that alongside Scott, she became one of the first X-Men and one of the founding members of the X-Men team, is that she actually has another hidden ability and another hidden side, if you will. But first, I want to talk about her normal side first before we get into the other side. Most people, as I said, she started out in the X-Men, I believe, as a different name. I can't think of it for the life of me, but I'll go ahead and let you guys see who I'm talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Jean Grey. I know she's got that look on her face like, ugh, I don't want to be here. Now, her abilities, of course, they include, she's a telepath. Yes, of course, she can move things with her mind and with, of course, the flip of her fingers, flip of her wrist, the flick of the wrist. Sorry. But she's also, next to Professor Xavier, she's also a telepath. Of course, she can read people's thoughts. She can basically, I don't think she can manipulate others yet, but I'm sure she's already moved up in the ladder, of course, and I'm sure she can make anybody do anything that she wants to. But there was another side that I did mention, because this is also a particular mutant who had become exposed to a different side of her on one of the routine missions into space. I'm not going to spoil anything from X-Men Dark Phoenix, which of course, that's what I'm speaking of. The more darker side of Jean Grey is also known as the Phoenix. Now, that's probably the biggest part of her abilities, which makes her an Omega level mutant, because the Phoenix is sort of an alternate Jean Grey. Looks just like her, acts just like her, just more, more savage, if you will. Because to her, the Phoenix, she looks out for number one. Anybody who gets in her way, she can make them disappear like that and just be gone, poof. And I like the fact that they gave her original X-Men look also, which of course is rocking the classic yellow and blue. I'll give you guys another look at her. Okay, so stay over there for me. Yep, she does. She also does come with an interchangeable head. All right, that's cool. All right. Oh, don't fall. Now, what's most well known about the Phoenix also is that whenever the Phoenix loses control, not only does she become probably one of the most dangerous mutants out there, it's the fact that she's so reckless with her abilities. Yes, it's true. Like say Magneto, he can control such elements like any metal whatsoever. But whereas the Phoenix itself, she can do level mutant known as the Phoenix. But she wasn't always like this. Like I said, Jean Grey, she had a good childhood. She had great parents. It's just, unfortunately, the darker side of her was kept secret, thanks to Professor X, who tried to suppress it, which unfortunately, it blew up in his face, and the Phoenix got loose, and she came rising from the ashes of Jean Grey, which, of course, in turn, almost burnt down the entire world. At one point, unfortunately, the plan didn't come to pass, as she was able to be pacified, turn back to Jean Grey, which we're very happy she did. Whew. Let me grab a swig after that one. You are there? You good out there? That's good. I hope you're doing well. Now, the last but not least mutant, of course, which I'm pretty sure you guys can probably guess where I'm going with this. One of the more well-known members of the X-Men family, and of course, probably one of the angriest members of the X-Men family, I do apologize about that, folks, because it's true. But I'm sure you guys know where I'm going with it. But there's certain unique traits about this particular guy I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to bring it up right now because you guys know him as Mr. James Howlett, but we also know him by Wolverine. Now, as I said, there's some key differences here other than the claws, of course. He does come with two interchangeable faces. He also comes with a set of adamantium claws, which I think is also a pretty good twist on this figure because he's rocking the classic bone claws, which of course everybody knows why. Growing up, JMC had a very traumatic life. His folks, not mainly his dad, always putting him down, always saying just because at an early stage his mutant abilities they never manifested because he was able to control them, or rather ignore them, if you will. Because next to Sabretooth, they were basically brothers, but not by blood, you know? Or I could be wrong on that one, folks. If I am, I do apologize. I'll have to get more into it. I'll have to get more info, so please forgive me. But some key differences, and as I said, his costume, the adamantium claws, the bone claws, and the fact that he comes with a battle-scarred head. He comes with a regular head. He comes with a regular mask, if you will. But he also comes with a little special little add-on, which of course I'll pull it out right now. Yeah, why don't I just go ahead and pull it out. This part right here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why does it look like that? And there's a specific reason. Because the reason it looks like this is because what I like about it is that it's the mask, but pulled backwards. And as I said, his life was very traumatic. Bachelor of a father. But whenever he had realized that he was actually the one who killed his own father, he ran away with Sabretooth, and they actually had seen many years. They seen many battles. Of course, they did side by side. But unfortunately, after Logan here had too much of Sabretooth's messing around, him and they were never seeing eye to eye, which is, of course, why they're at war almost every time they see each other. But in doing so, that's what had pushed Logan into being basically swayed into what was known as the Weapon X program, which of course gave him the adamantium claws that we know and love today. Don't get me wrong, I love the bone claws. They're a beautiful retro touch on the costume, and I love the fact that they gave him that nasty looking face, and the fact that his hair is kind of protruding a little bit from the mask. But you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and just throw this more, if you're going to be on a team such as the X-Men, you got to be happy because, hey, they're family, Yes, it's true. Like every family, they never really see eye to eye, but hey, what family doesn't, right? So, he also has an enhanced sense of smell. He can regenerate almost instantly. Of course, like if it's a severe injury, it'll take him a few more minutes, like say broken bones or like a fractured skull or something like that. That of course will take him a few extra minutes. But he's one of my favorite X-Men. I've always been a fan of his. Next to Rogue, of course. She's just my favorite Marvel girl. But I don't want to get into that too much. Whenever I get my hands on Rogue, I will be happy to bring her into the stream and let you guys see her. But that's all for tonight, folks. I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream right here. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I do hope that you ate. And please, if you didn't, please do me a favor and eat before you go to bed. And do the same thing for something to drink as well. My apologies. And I do hope that you enjoyed the stream. I do hope that you have a good night. Also, if you like, feel free to hit the follow button. It will be posted there in just a moment. And don't be afraid to smash the like button. And until next time, guys, stay safe, stay awesome, stay weird, stay yourselves, and stay zen, huh? Peace.